I have a bad feeling something is going on between my younger brother and my wife. Part 1. Me, 30M, have been married to my wife, Rachel, 32F, for 6 years. We have a really strong relationship. I would say the usual couple drama through our years, but we have grown from it and have a loving relationship. All was well until about 8 months ago. My brother, Mark, 28M, moved back to our hometown, after living in Florida since he was 18. His long-term girlfriend dumped him and moved to a new city, leaving him destitute. The circumstances behind their breakup are still largely unknown. When my brother returned, he told us that she had been cheating with a coworker. Mark moved back in with my parents, Gina, 55F, and Jimmy, 56M. For the first month he was here, he struggled to find work, so I suggested that maybe Rachel could help him out. She is a higher up at her company and figured she would have some pull. She did, and he was able to get a position in her department. This is a job in his field. For some background, my brother and I have never been very close. He is the golden child, at least to our mom, and our dad is spineless when it comes to our mom. It's not super obvious, just a million little things. Like we both got cars when we turned 16, but I got an 8-year-old Dodge Neon and he got a 2-year-old Mitsubishi Eclipse. His football practices, guitar lessons, and the guitar he never played, I know they cost thousands of dollars over the years. Some of those football games were 6 or 7 hours away, and they never batted an eye. Meanwhile, when I would ask for $50 for a volleyball or basketball camp at the local college, in our town, they would give it to me, but you would have thought I was asking them to build me my own arena. I think what pissed me off the most ever was when I was 17. I was out with my girlfriend, lost track of time, and was 15 minutes past curfew. They took my car for a whole month for that. Then when my brother came home 2 hours late and smelled like pot the next year, he just got a stern talking to. I wasn't exactly sad when he left for college and decided to stay in Florida. Despite all of that, he began spending more and more time at our house. Which at first I thought was nice, as maybe he was making the effort to be closer to me. Then I started to notice that he and Rachel were getting rather familiar with each other. They would talk about seemingly anything at length. They started having their own inside jokes. If I tried to include myself, they would say, just a work thing. When I asked my wife about it, she just said they have a lot in common and are working on several projects together at work. The first real red flag was that after about a month of this, he would be there at our house when I got home from work. Rachel and I have different work schedules. While she gets a traditional 8 to 4:30 workday, I work 10-7. This was pretty often. When I asked about it, I always got, we had some work stuff to do. 2 months ago, I noticed something that had me questioning my own sanity. I make the bed every day before I leave for work. I always make it so the open side of the pillowcase is towards the edge of the bed. Mark was over that day when I got home. He ate with us, then went back to my parents' house. As we got in bed, I noticed 2 of the pillows had the cases in towards the middle. I asked my wife if she had been in bed today. She looked a little shook but said, no, why do you ask? I said the bed's not the same as I made it this morning. She told me, I must have been mistaken then because no one was in the bed. I looked through her phone and laptop without her knowing and found nothing. Then again, they work together 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, then hang out after work. Why would they need to text? I felt like I was losing my mind. 2 weeks ago my parents invited us over for dinner. It was going fine. Until I saw something. Rachel was simply walking by, Mark lightly grabbed her arm, and she turned to him. He whispered something, and they touched foreheads together. It was only a second, and Rachel jolted up, then kept on walking. Mark then just kind of looked at me, smiled, and went back to what he was doing. I'm not an idiot. I know this is a mountain of red flags. I just don't want to believe it. I have been in love with my wife since I was 21 years old. I have planned a weekend getaway to the city. Follow for part 2.